A big trade rumor, and VGK could be in the thick of it as we draw near to the March 7th deadline. With William Karlsson on LTIR, is VGK looking for a possible replacement? All this ahead on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Of course, I am a longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, Chris Golick, collectibles editor for the Hockey News, owner of Silver State Cards and Sports. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. It's a mouthful, I know, Golick.
I like that one.
We appreciate, thanks for making us your first listen here, and make sure that you subscribe to Locked On Golden Knights, our YouTube channel. And also coming up ahead today, VGK's linemates in the Four Nations face-off and Four Nations odds and predictions. We're brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com and take a look at all of the NBA odds. That's right, and college hoops as well. That's FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook.
I just looked at your tag, Fifth Nation.
I'm working on it, bro. I'm a work in progress.
So I'm tired today. Yeah, wake me up. Wake me up.
No, I'm NyQuil 8. It's 2 myself, so we're going to get through this. We start with the health of William Karlsson, who is missing this week's Four Nations face-off with a chronic injury. Are you starting to feel that his season could be over, that either there will be surgery ahead or they've already done surgery on William Karlsson?
So you have, and again, this is Rumorville right now, so you take it with a grain of salt, but a lot of this is coming from Elliot Friedman, who's usually in the thick of everything. At least he knows more than anyone when it comes to who's kicking tires, who's thinking about a trade, who's, and I mean, Kelly McCrimmon's always at the used car lot looking to find a deal. So it's pretty obvious that where this is going. Rumor has it right now from Friedman that Braden Shen could be a name that the Golden Knights are interested in. What kind of quietly made its way through the news information recently was Marcus Pettersson, traded from the Pittsburgh Penguins to the Vancouver Canucks. He's a defenseman. And the Golden Knights supposedly were in where they were trying to make a deal, and Vancouver upped the ante a little bit, so Vegas couldn't match whatever it was that Vancouver sent the other way. So tying all this together, this means one of two things, or it means two of two things. Number one, this means William Karlsson's season is likely over. And again, keep the LTIR
speculation.
Stuff.
It's okay. It's okay, though. Right. Yeah, that's what we do. We speculate.
Yeah, I know. So the LTIR stuff and all that, if he comes back game one of the postseason and all that, well, that's a bridge we'll cross another time. But for now, I think this means William Karlsson's season is likely over. And number two, what this also could mean, or what it might mean, is the Golden Knights are looking to shop someone from the current roster in the $2.5 to $5 million range to upgrade their current roster. And it could mean both. It could be one, it could be none. But McCrimmon's always looking to find something, but you can't give up. As good as McCrimmon is, you can't give up nothing and get something. Something has to be given up here.
What is the cap situation currently with William Karlsson on LTIR? I'm just curious about that. And Karlsson, don't get it twisted. He wasn't helping the team. He was injured. And so it's good that he's on the shelf right now. Like, he's hurting the team perhaps more than he was helping them.
Well, you can make the same argument for Pietrangelo recently, too. I don't know if he was hurting the team as much, but he definitely wasn't his full capability. I think we can confidently say that. As we can say the same with William Karlsson. If he's not scoring goals, sure, his defensive game and everything is still decent, but if he's not scoring goals, it's because he's not able to skate well. If he's not able to skate well, he's not as good on the defensive side of the puck. So those two go hand in hand. Right now on Puckpedia, so there's 4 different categories. There's projected cap space, $760,000. But then there's current cap space, $2.1 million. Then there's deadline cap space, $3.474. Then there's LTIR pool, $6.87 million. So what does all that mean? I don't know. No, that gotta look at William Karlsson right now. This is the easiest way to break this down. William Karlsson has a cap hit of $5.9 million. He's on
Overpriced.
LTIR. What's that?
Go ahead. I just said overpriced. Sorry,
fair enough.
man. I was trying to
Okay.
be serious about this.
No, that's fine, and that's okay. So $5.9 million. Right now, basically, that's about the number the Golden Knights have to work with. Now, that number can go up a little bit. Looking at the current roster, like Cole Schwitt and Tanner Pearson, they're both IR, not LTIR. If they get moved or in one of their cases sent down, that's another $800,000 or another $775,000 for a total of $1.5 million. So now all of a sudden we're talking in the neighborhood of $7.5 million for the Vegas Golden Knights to go shopping with. And again, this is assuming William Karlsson's season is over. If his season is not over, what are they going to do to free up cap space for Marcus Pettersson? Or what were they going to do to free up cap space for Marcus Pettersson? What was the contingency plan? And same question for Braden Shen. Braden Shen is the focus for a moment here right now. Well, I'll give you some background about him. But first, what we need to understand is Braden Shen is a 33-year-old under contract through the 2020.
Three more seasons. How many more?
Through 2028. So it would be the rest of this season plus three seasons at 6.5. At 6.5 million.
The perfect fit for VGK. Are you kidding me? He'll be like 52 by the time his contract.
No, I mean with the way the whole Marchessault thing played out, I can't see the
defer payments to Shen.
Oh God.
He'll get paid for 2030.
Who is Braden Shen? Let's just do this really quickly here. He's 33 years old. He's a lefty. 199 pounds, 6'1", not a big guy by any means.
What's his birthday? That's more important.
Birthday. I always forget that. August 22nd.
Oh man,
he was born in Saskatoon.
He's a Scorpion. No, I have no idea. Okay, go ahead.
So really fast, where's he topped off? He scored 70 points in the 17-18 season with the Blues. A couple 50-point seasons mixed in along the way. The COVID shortened season, 35 points in 56 games. Last 3 seasons, 50 points, 56 points, played full seasons, and looks like he's played the entire season this year. So he's very reliable. That's actually really nice. 48 points, 56 games. All these points primarily come via assists. So who's he going to be dishing the puck to? Like, is this another dish master? We're going to hope that a Brett Howden.
Him and Hurdle on the same line.
Does he go on the line with, Mark Stone? Is he the future center between Brandon Saad and Mark Stone? Aha.
Interesting. Yeah. Another teammate there. So is that possible replacement going to be Braden Shen, as Friedman suspects? One tie-in there. Shen played for Kelly McCrimmon for the Brandon Wheat Kings. We have to add that in there, of course, because that's an important element. I think, thank you so much to the St. Louis Blues for being the feeder system to VGK.
Yeah, that's a much better AHL organization than the Henderson Silver Knights, by the way.
Oh, and then reports say that the price will be high. So does this mean that you have to throw in the Bill Foley bobblehead in the deal?
That explains why I was actually I got nearly face value for my game against whenever that happened. And that's the thing. The price will be high. What does that even mean? Like, what's the price going to be? What can the Golden Knights send to them? And what can the Golden Knights send to a third party to broker the deal?
Other than Noah Hannafin, who else would you give up?
Noah Hannafin. God, listen. Ever since they separated Pietrangelo and Hannafin, I feel better about those two. So knock on wood, that's going to fix itself once the Four Nations comes back and everything, hopefully. But I mean, that's the thing here. What are the Golden Knights going to give up? Let's pretend for a second, because all these deals were coming together, I think, kind of before William Karlsson. No, it was probably when William Karlsson was on LTIR, which again is why I'm assuming there's a possibility that Karlsson's season is over. So who on this current roster, like, I think this doesn't happen without a roster player being moved. And is this where they trade from the defense right now? Because you got Korzak and Hutton. No one's looking for Ben Hutton in a deal. We talked about that a few times. Is there a world where a Nick Hague is possibly on the block right now? Or Zach Whitecloud, or both of them? White Cloud pencils really, really nicely in a trade because he's only making $2.75 million. Has 3 full seasons left plus the current season. Nicholas Hague is an RFA at the end of this season, UFA after that. And the Golden Knights saw how difficult it was to come to terms with his current deal, which was like it maxed out the credit card. 200,000, $150. I think I said that right back in elementary school.
That's
here.
all that was left in the till.
That was literally, I think it took him within like $100 of the cap space. I'm betting Hague was pissed off he didn't get the full thing. He had to leave $100 on the table. On the forward side, who would the Golden Knights even trade right now? That would make sense. Like, Olofsson, no, he's staying. Kolosar just got his deal. Saad's brand new. I think Dorofeev is on the untouchables list now, Tony. We have to add another one to the untouchables list, by the way. Howden just got a deal. Nicholas Waugh. I'll keep my eye on Nicholas Waugh. We've been concerned about his game as of late, and I feel like the Golden Knights might have a little more appreciation at this point for Brett Howden's game than Nicholas Waugh.
So Waugh, Brisson, another AHLer, and a draft pick.
Yeah, something like that.
Would you make that deal?
I feel like Brisson involved. I don't know one's really high on Brisson starting with the Golden Knights. But I feel like having to get if it's like one of the Golden Knights' second round picks and Brisson for Shen in that contract. Yeah, I hope St. Louis is taking on half of the contract if that happens, or at least a third of it, or something like that. And I guess that would. It's funny because you got Zach Dean who got traded to the St. Louis Blues in the Barbashev deal, another teammate with Braden Shen. So you wonder where all this is coming from right now. It's definitely Shen, Brandon Saad, and their experience and everything. And then now all of a sudden you might have Brisson and Zach Dean playing in the AHL organization for the Blues. Was that the Thunderbirds? I don't know who that is. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Okay. No, just in. Peyton Krebs is holding up this deal. Just in. Since January 1st, 12 points for Shen. So he's picking up his game. And here's the part of his game that I like as a centerman, 54 hits. And again, I just think at times VGK gets beat, especially against the East, because they're a little bit too soft. And so if they want someone that's going to bang, I just think this could be the deal. This could be missing.
Back when Shen was with the Flyers, I found this, and I sent this to Tony last night. I like this guy already.
Yeah.
It was the Flyers and Penguins in a first or second round playoff series, however long ago it was. And Shen is like a foot behind Crosby going for a line change, and Shen just cross-checks Crosby right in the numbers. Like, it wasn't like a hard intent to injure type of hit, but it was, hey, bro, it's the playoffs. I'm taking a shot at the other team's superstar. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that kind of grit. A little bit of sandpaper.
So just to wrap this one up with a bow, Karlsson, perhaps he's got to be out for the remainder of the regular season minimum.
I would support that statement. And we've been saying that even before. We've been saying that for basically since he went to LTIR.
Right. And then
before that, IR, pardon me.
I think obviously we believe that Shen is in place. And if they want a lot at St. Louis, VGK has a lot to give up. They have assets. They still do. And I would give them up. And I think this is a deal that could happen. I know that we were talking, will there be a deal during Four Nations for VGK? This could be that deal.
I still don't know if they can. I got to check. I still don't know if business is open right now or if they're on a roster freeze. And I still got to figure that out.
All right.
But either way,
much to figure out.
It's in the works. Something's in the works. We can say
something's happening like we figured it would be. Coming up next, VGK's line mates in the Four Nations. We'll get to that as we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on all the other sites. Indeed sponsors jobs. It puts the post at the top of the page, and it helps you to reach the right candidates faster. And you can also find out that whenever you're in a spot where you really do need to hire someone and fast, make sure that you check it out and go to Indeed. The pressure's on, as we know, and every day without the right person is an absolute setback. That's exactly why you need Indeed's sponsored deals. They're sponsored jobs, they come in handy, and they make sure that your post is seen by the right candidates and right now. And now you can speed up the hiring process with a $75 to $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon, Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, you need Indeed. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, your friendly host, Tony Cardasco, and your also friendly co-host, Chris Collick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Fridays, WTF. Saturdays, sometimes it is the Chris Jr. Show. So before we talk about this, what's going on with the linemates and Four Nations, I did find, so on Puckpedia, they have by cap hit the rankings for the Four Nations. So like if you were to have a cap hit, so USA is at the top, 178 million. That would be the cap hit.
So
it's so rigged. Canada, 172 million. Sweden, 156 million. Finland, $117 million. So there's a big disparity there of 61 million between Team USA and Finland on the bottom. It's pretty interesting. First practices were yesterday for the Four Nations. Man, I got the feels yesterday. Holy smokes. Like, it was pretty sad when they separated Jack Eichel from his teammates. Did you watch that interview with Gary Lawless?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, bro, it was Sap City. He was just like, yeah, you know. And Lawless goes, did you hug it out with your teammates and everything? He was like, yeah, it's kind of sad. These are my friends.
I mean, good.
Well,
listen, this is
thought it
Jack
was a
Eichel
good
we're
thing.
talking about here. Everyone outside of Buffalo thinks
Right.
this is the biggest POS on the planet, Tony. So
Right.
this is nice to see. To be
No,
fair.
exactly. No,
Okay.
everyone called. No, I'm being serious here.
Okay, I got you.
They've called him an a-hole in the past, but here was a guy that was going through this bitterness, sadness from the separation from his teammates. He was so bummed. So
Him and Noah Hannafin are like really good buddies too. So I mean, I think he'll be okay. You know, I think he'll be okay.
I wish they could have separated those two there. That's bad. That's bad. So in any event, the show must go on. So Eichel in team practice for Team USA, and he does sound prideful for the U.S., but he's found a home here in Vegas, and literally, like, this is his home. These are his teammates, and now they're all good friends. So that is a great sign, I guess, you know, for this team that's been through it up and down and each and every way this past season. So that's a great sign that they're sticking together and that they have become good friends. Eichel, like, I know, who would have ever imagined that, number one, after that unheard of surgery, would still be okay and no issues after that with his neck that we've heard of.
I'm like trying to pop my neck as you're saying that. That's funny.
And then him becoming good friends and staying here and becoming the community guy in Vegas was not on the bingo card. Okay, so team practice yesterday, he was centering a line with Matthew Tkachuk and Kyle Connor. It is a potent line. And also for Team USA, Noah Hannafin was on the third D pairing with Brock Faber. Your thoughts on these lines and combo?
I mean, starting on the Team USA side, of course, we'll hit Canada after this, but Eichel is elite. Eichel is one of the best 4 centers in the league, 5 centers in the league, top 3 centers in the league. I mean, obviously he's not going to rank above McDavid and McKinnon. How much farther down from those two does he go? And that's a reasonable conversation. Maybe something else we can talk about this week if we run out of topics, which we certainly might. But I mean, he's centering the top line above Austin Matthews, who anyone you talk to will tell you Austin Matthews is a much better player. I think Eichel's points per game are a little bit higher than Austin Matthews. And of course, Eichel's got the accolades. Eichel, I think, is a better two-way player. We can go on and on and on about the differences here. But Eichel between Kyle Connor, Matty Tkachuk, the top line. That's the other side of this. The top line. That certainly says something about where Eichel's game has gone. And I think the responsibility of his game. This isn't because Eichel has, 69, 70, 71, whatever the number is right now. This isn't only because of his points. It's because of his ability to play responsible. You don't see a lot of these number one centers playing as responsible of a two-way game that Jack Eichel does. I don't think McKinnon or McDavid can check the same defensive boxes that Eichel can check. And I'll double down on Eichel's passing ability probably being at or greater than McKinnon's. And I don't think it's going to be over McDavid's, but it's certainly much closer in the conversation. I had an up and back with someone late fall, probably before the season, and they're talking about how Eichel's better than McDavid. Eichel. Pump the brakes, relax. Okay, yes, Eichel's got the cup. I understand all that. But as this season has progressed, the gap has certainly closed a little bit between Eichel and McDavid. Now, when I say the gap is closed a little bit, we're talking a solar system right now, or multiple solar systems where McDavid is and where everyone else in the National Hockey League is. But has Eichel jumped a couple of planets closer? Fine. There's still probably 7 planets between Eichel and McDavid.
The other centers for Team USA are Matthews, JT Miller, and Trocheck. And, Team Canada. So, Mark Stone on the second line with Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon.
Gross.
That sounds unreal, doesn't it? Like that's like a fantasy line, I think.
It does. And, Crosby, I mean, this kind of echoes the line where he was playing on with the Golden Knights, although Stone's been moved since the arrival of Brandon Saad. But Stone was on a line, and it looks like Stone's on the other wing right now too. Stone's been on the right side in Vegas.
He's on the other side.
Yeah,
so he's on the left side.
I saw that, and you wonder more importantly how he adapts to this, and if this can help the Golden Knights. Depending on how things go later in the season, of course, and with new roster moves and everything. But very similar to you got Crosby and Eichel. You can certainly draw some parallels to both of their games. Crosby, a very responsible two-way player, and of course Nathan McKinnon, a lethal scorer. One of the most dangerous players on the ice from a scoring perspective, and from him decking you from behind or doing something stupid. But, Stone is going to have a lot of open ice, even in a tournament like the Four Nations where it's best on best, the best players in the world. Stone is going to have a lot of soft ice. I don't know if there's like some type of MVP they're going to do for this tournament. I'm guessing there's something they're going to market for it. But I could see Stone leading Team Canada in points because of this line that he's on right now. And that's not talking up Stone because he's the Golden Knights captain or anything. Who do you watch on that line? You're going to double down on Crosby. You're going to triple down on McKinnon, and Stone's just going to be sitting there like Brad Marchand in the goal against the Vegas Golden Knights on Saturday morning.
Yeah. And Shea Theodore is the second D pairing with Drew Doughty, ironically.
Concerned about that pairing. I'm concerned about that pairing. That's a lot of offense on that. It's a lot of offense on that D pairing right there.
That's pretty interesting. That should be fun. And then is Aiden Hill G1?
I thought that's how Lawless put it out there. I don't know how. Lawless put Hill, Binnington, Montsebo. And if you want to read into this isn't done on an alphabetical basis because Hill would come after Binnington. So
didn't he also have Hill centering the top line?
I'm sure Bill Foley and George McPhee had Aiden Hill centering the top line. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it looks like Hill is going to get the first start. Is he only going to get one of 3 starts, or are they going to run a goalie twice, or is the plan to give each goalie, one start during the round robin and then pick the best, goalie for the championship game should Canada qualify? I think they will, but or are they going to go Hill, Binnington, and then make a decision for the third game between all 3 goalies? And I don't know. My projection is for USA and Canada, they're going to start their top 2 goalies the first 2 games and then make a decision for the third game between the top 2 goalies. And I don't think either the third goalie will see the net unless it's a situation where there's injury involved or, I think they'll make sure they want to qualify for that championship game.
The funniest thing I've seen on the net here the last couple of days is just trying to justify the justification of Montebo with this with his Team Canada, and even the fans in Canada are like, "Why is he on the team?" Seriously,
Montebo, if you go deep to the advanced stats and everything, Montebo is a fantastic goalie. Is
not
he
knocking that.
worthwhile of bumping Aiden or Logan Thompson off of this team? Can I say hell no? Good, I just did.
That's good.
But I'm not going to take anything away from Montebo from what I've said. I mean, there's a lot of goalie experts outside of Vegas that have talked about his accomplishments, and they didn't do it with the respect of he should be on Team Canada. It was, listen, this is what this dude's done, and he's been on a team, Montreal Canadiens team that plays no defense, fringe playoff team at best this season. The numbers he's putting up, like a Mackenzie Blackwood type of situation with the San Jose Sharks, if you want to look for a comparison. The second Blackwood went to a good team, he's one of the best goalies in the NHL right now. So you wonder if Montebo is that same type of player. Should he be on Team Canada? I think I answered that question already. The answer is no. This decision got made December the 1st with a lot of time left. And it's not even just Logan Thompson, but Cam Talbot was another very worthy player that could have had a spot on Team Canada. There's probably 4 goalies that I think a lot of people would have picked above Sam Montebo. Maybe they're looking at Montebo as a development thing. I don't know how you can develop anyone during a 2-week exhibition face or tournament, but maybe they're looking to groom him a little bit for the Olympics next year, which would be very strange as well.
Coming up next, our Four Nations odds and predictions. Stay with us right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the course of the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you are looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. And we really do like watching FanDuel and checking out the live betting feature, because every moment you get into the game, it makes it more exciting. And definitely when you're backing your team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch 3, that's the place to go. It's FanDuel. And right now, FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if the first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com. Join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, and there's Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Microphone's back on. Chris, yeah, so you into the NBA now or what? No, right? You're not an NBA guy.
No.
Are you?
No, I used to try, but I mean, number one, the 90s Bulls ruined basketball for me. I'll never experience anything like that again as far as my home team is involved. I went to one of those NBA Cup games. We had center court tickets, 6 rows up, apparently amazing tickets, and the family left at halftime because we thought it sucks.
No, the product's not good right now, is it?
What's that? No, I don't think it's no.
The only way to get through it is to bet on the games, Golick.
I did. I was betting on each quarter, and I was losing my butt.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's why. So let's get to talking about the latest odds for the Four Nations face-off tournament. So, Team Canada, the favorite, according to the book. Canada plus 140, USA plus 160, Sweden plus 350, Finland plus 600. So we told you about what the cap hits would be for those rosters, and Finland really at the bottom of the barrel. So you have to pretty much eliminate them. Can Sweden beat out USA or Canada for that second spot in the exacta? Oh, in Canada, you know what they call them? You know what they call it when you bet? The exactors. They're exactors at some of the tracks in Canada.
Isn't there
Exactor.
something else too? I think there's something else that they call it. Or Quinella. You have Quinella too, which is not Canada.
No, they have
it's a weird
Qs
one.
in the U.S. too, but exactas
Yeah,
are
Quinellas are weird. Like
exactors.
what's the difference of a Quinella and exacta?
So Quinella, okay, you could bet say $2, and your top two horses could finish in either position,
So it's
and
an
you still win
exacta
the bet. But
box.
it's an exacta box, so you box more than two horses, and they have to finish 1-2.
So
And in
basically,
Canada,
Quinella
it's an
is a word.
exactor box. An exactor.
Quinella's only two horses. Exacta box would be if you're taking three horses for a
You could
top
take
two.
more,
Okay.
yeah. You could take 4 or 5.
I guess, yeah. Okay.
And just so you have like a parlay going with all of those horses together.
This is one of those rants that our manager gets mad at us about, by the way.
Why? I don't even understand that. We're educating the public, bro. What about the odds? I'm trying to be positive. I think once the action begins, then we'll jump into the game, and I think we'll be back.
God, yeah. No, we got games tomorrow. It's
we'll
gonna
be back on
interesting to talk
track.
about. We're gonna do locks. We're gonna run it like a regular show, so to speak. I think it'll be okay. But
Okay.
Canada plus 140, USA 160, Sweden 350, Finland 600. The odds are where they should be. I mean, it makes sense, obviously. Everyone's looking at Canada, USA to be in the 1 and 2.
Saturday.
Me personally,
Saturday.
I'm looking for someone. I'm looking for Sweden or Finland to turn this tournament on its end. I would actually love if somehow Sweden and Finland were the final. I seriously doubt it's going to go down like that. But I'm going to go for a fun prediction because I'm not going to be like everybody else. I'm going Sweden over Canada in the final.
Give me that
plus 350. I'm going for it.
Well, if you're a betting man, you have to take Team USA. This would be one of the biggest upsets of all time. USA minus 330 over Finland. Again, they should blow out Finland. Well, we'll do it tomorrow, but I'm just saying they play Finland, so they got the softest opponent there. Canada,
Tony,
Sweden.
Say it. It's
rigged. It's definitely rigged. What are you talking about?
See, it's not just about the Golden Knights, guys. It's also Tony thinks everything is rigged.
Everything's rigged. Everything.
It's not just the
Super Bowl was rigged
for what it's worth.
So the Super Bowl was rigged because they set us up into believing that the Chiefs, they were going to be the team that was going to cheat and win the game. So that's why all the Chiefs money came in. All along, Philadelphia was the better team. It was so haven't seen that video in a minute, but it applies. It's applicable. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll get into our picks and predictions.
Yeah, let's go home.
Let's go home. Former man Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget Fridays, WTF, Saturdays, sometimes the rigged Golick and Golick show on YouTube, the YouTube exclusive. Well, again, just please take care, everyone. For Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco, signing off from Las Vegas, and we'll see you tomorrow right here. I said take care. Take care.